I've never met so many cowards in our black men in show business.
I cannot.
If you thought that Steve Harvey had enough drama on his plate with the current rumors about his dear wife having an affair, apparently this was just the start for the iconic TV host and comedian. Now, it seems like Steve's fellow comedian Monique is exposing Harvey's true nature, and she allegedly called him the most cowardly man in all of Hollywood. It seems like Monique cannot digest her father Steve, so let's get to the details of their beef. I've never met so many cowards and are black men in show business. I cannot for the sake of my integrity stand up here and let everybody that's counting on me crumble so I can make a statement. Hello everyone and welcome back to Celebrity Live channel. It appears that Steve Harvey is not in the best of times, and his reputation is being tarnished by both online trolls and his colleagues. Comedian Monique, who is renowned for her fearless confrontations with the most influential people in the industry, is now following Steve around in our community. Monique claims that chasing the bag is more important than integrity or principle. Monique doesn't adhere to industry rules. She believes that her brother Steve has long since sold his soul to Hollywood and can easily throw everyone under the bus to maintain his reputation and image. Her children crumble, and her grandchildren come, so Monique is calling him out because she genuinely believes they are in the same boat. But it seems that money changed Steve a lot, and he became the person who cannot afford to be raw and honest anymore, unlike Steve. Steve Harvey is a vile man who values wealth and his position in the entertainment business more than truth. When it comes to making harsh choices and choosing sides, Steve sticks to those who provide for him and his family. Monique was never afraid to sound harsh, and she bravely expressed her negativity about the inequality that's happening in the show business, however, as she's saying the powerful figures like Steve Harvey, who could chime in and show an example to future generations of black artists, are too cowardice and hold to their sack of cash, not being able to say what they think. But when it came about, oh, you're going against the powers that be, and I want the power supposed to be that no, am not on that side now. Oh, you guys may say that Monique just loves drama and making new enemies, but when you start to dig deeper, you may notice that her feuds don't stem from nowhere. You see, guys, in 2022, during a show in Detroit, Monique had tough time because of her contact issues and from the stage shift. Decided to slam everyone who was plaguing her life as a performer and entertainer. And guess whose name popped up? Link, I gave you everything you need to do. Now Monique is saying that Steve Harvey understands the rules of power play in the industry, and he does everything to protect himself from the public scandal. And apparently he was ready to sacrifice his good relationship and friendship with the actress in order to keep his position and status. However, despite the vile and touchy people around, Monique still gets a lot of support from her husband, who shares her views on the industry and its cruel games. To ask yourself, can you live with yourself for doing it the right way versus playing by their rules? But here's the thing, guys, looks like Steve Harvey doesn't like to be disliked that. And this was the time he decided to step in and address the growing amount of talk about his cowardly behavior and nature. But if you think he ever apologized to Monique and took her side, well, you don't know how much this man loves his money, as the Family Feud host said. Let me just open by saying I could care less than about what you think about me, because clearly I'm not your problem. Monique believes Harvey could use his position and influence to help her with her fight against the powerful figures who plague her existence. But in reality, he chose a way of coward who sits on his bag full of money and denies the harsh truth. And that's when I look at my brother and I say, how dare you, Steve? Steve quickly responded that he had never been the real problem for the blackballed comedian. As many people as possible agree with Monique that Steve Harvey doesn't live up to his reputation as a kind, giving man who is more concerned with his own skin than the common goals of the black community. Fans are applauding Monique for calling out these bad people, and they hope that her voice will be heard. One user even went so far as to call out Lee Daniels. As of now, only Tyler Perry, Oprah, and Steve Harvey have expressed regret. People know that Daniels was speaking the truth and showing Monique a lot of love. Another user wrote, I love her. She's a real woman who doesn't hold back how she feels for anyone. If you take anything, you won't stand for nothing. However, there is a backstory for Monique's anger towards Steve Harvey, as the Oscar-winning actress discussed being called difficult when she spoke to him on his talk show. Monique said that Harvey believed she had done herself a disservice by going about it the way she had, adding that she had done herself a disservice with all those beefs and her pursuit of truth and justice. Steve was trying to get her to adopt the industry narrative by telling her that her position and her feud with the influential people were meaningless and that nobody ever wins in the end. Steve essentially ordered her to end her campaign and embrace the rules of the game, which state that when you tell the truth, you have to face with the consequences of the truth. Since we are blacked out here, we are unable to carry on our campaign in any way we choose. Steve Harvey was clearly picked aside, and the fullness of his pockets worries him more than anything else. It appears that he's one of those people who blindly agree to the Hollywood rules and betray their true nature because they want money and success at this point. Monique is disappointed in Steve because there is nothing honest left in him, only the desire for wealth. Steve added that the actress should have stopped worrying about her integrity and truth and taken a closer look at her bank account because being in the show business means playing high-stakes money games, but the black man's game, these in light of Monique's protection. Steve Harvey had to consider what he had said. He later revealed that the majority of the talk had been taken out. The interview lasted 52 minutes. I added it to protect her because it was some really crazy. However, there's belief that in fact Steve was only protecting himself because we already know how vulnerable the TV host is to any kind of criticism and backlash, and how he ardently will say anything to keep his pockets filled and having the opportunities of a privileged person he's enjoying right now. As you remember, at the beginning of his career, Steve was living in his car, and I bet he has no desire to lead such a pitiful lifestyle again. So here's what he answered about his whole comment about integrity. It's my only regret in the whole thing was I misspoke. What a lame excuse for the person being in the show business and basically earning money by speaking in public, and it feels like Monique already realized the pathetic depths of Steve's nature back then during that conversation, and that money mattered to this man more than anything else, so he keeps dragging himself into more controversies just to please his bosses, and the actress cannot forgive him for betraying her and the principles of equality at the moment when was looking for a friendly face in the hostile crowd of the show business. She reached out to Steve with the plea for help, but the family feud chose to turn his back to his longtime friend and not be with the elites that feed him. I said to you, Steve, my family is suffering behind this and you'll know I did nothing wrong. However, as many fans now saying it's pointless to reason with this man because he's all rotten to his core. Netizens say that the actress should move on and forget about reaching out to Steve because his soul has been long sold to the Hollywood elites, and that why he has lost respect among the audience. As one user wrote, Steve Harvey has always been a snake and he deserved everything he gets at this time. He never really cared about nothing but himself. And another user added, most people can't stand Steve Harvey. Bernie Mac wouldn't even be relevant if he were still alive. But Steve Harvey is far removed from his public persona. Perhaps karma will soon teach him a valuable lesson. What do you think about this guy's wealth and money turning Steve Harvey into a coward who can't speak out against the powerful elites? Or is Monique just looking for someone to put the blame for her bad luck on? What are your opinions on the shady scale of show business? Please share them in the comments section below. I look forward to hearing from you. In the meantime, check out my other films on the subject. That's it for now. Thank you for watching, and I promise to be back soon.